Conservative Union Chairman and Republican strategist Matt Schlapp. All right, Matt, do conservatives feel that Trump's comments about Hillary's record on women, including her attacks against the women who made sex harassment claims against Bill Clinton, are fair game?
Totally. As a matter of fact, Republicans still have deep-seated animosity for the fact that Bill Clinton was impeached by the House of Representatives, but really got off almost scot-free. Yes, he was disbarred. Yes, there was all this coverage during all these scenes. Look, it's not just a question of an intern. It's a question of other much more serious allegations from multiple women. And, I think everybody in politics tends to back away from these types of questions of personal impropriety. But if Hillary Clinton's going to go after Donald Trump for his treatment with women, he's going to give it back to her with both barrels.
Well, how is Donald Trump viewed by conservatives, Matt?
They don't know what to think about him. I mean, they know Ted Cruz is a down-the-line conservative. With Donald Trump, they like what he's saying, they like the tone, they like the aggressive statements he's making about ISIS and this war on terror that is not being waged. So they like a lot of what he's saying. They like the fact that he just says it like it is. But they're still wanting to make sure that when he's in the Oval Office, he will take conservative positions on A to Z, including judges he picks and all the other important policy questions. So that's why we're going through this process.
Now, it seems like Ted Cruz is maybe ahead in Iowa. What do you think this means for the establishment versus the anti-establishment candidates?
Well, the establishment's been having a bad year, Judge. They thought that if they could just kind of get Donald Trump out of the way and they thought he would implode, that they would have a candidate more to their liking. But now it seems like the candidate that's most likely to take Donald Trump's place if he were to implode is Ted Cruz. That's not exactly a person they like any better.
All right. What about the convention? I mean, there are people who believe that the establishment will do anything to get rid of Donald Trump. And there's talk of an open convention versus a brokered convention. Tell the viewers quickly what the difference is and what the impact can be.
Yeah, brokered convention is when you get in that smoke-filled room and no candidate can get enough delegates, and so the party leaders try to pick a candidate who can get there. An open convention just means the convention will go forward like a convention should. And if nobody has the majority needed to get the nomination, you will go through several votes on the floor to determine who that nominee is going to be. I think there's an increasingly likely chance that we could get there, Judge.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, does it seem that if there is an open convention, that it is the establishment candidate who benefits by that and not Donald?
Well, let me ask you this question. If you were worth $9 billion and you had a bunch of jets and a bunch of helicopters, if you're flying kids around on your helicopter at the Iowa State Fair, what can you do to delegates that are trying to decide who their nominee should be? My guess is he's going to be pretty good at making the pitch. Okay.
Well, I'm going to throw a question back at you, Matt. Given what happened with the budget, Republicans saying we're against funding sanctuary cities, we're against funding Planned Parenthood given what they're doing, and then all of a sudden the budget passes, everybody goes home for Christmas. I mean, there's a lot of IOUs within the establishment as well. So it's not just Donald who has the ability to sway people. I think sometimes in the establishment, people have got the goods on each other.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's a lot of truth to that. Let me tell you something else. Jeff, I know is counted out by a lot of people, but if you get to the point where this convention is open, I think you're going to see the Bush machine and the Bush family go aggressively towards these delegates. A lot of us, including myself and my wife, have served for previous Presidents Bush, and if those calls start getting made, it's going to be a very interesting convention.
Well, but you know what? I would think that they're making these calls right now, Matt. I mean, you've got one president. Go ahead.
The smart ones are calling now. You know what they're saying? Just like you've been through these processes. They're saying, okay, if I can't get you on the first vote, can I get you on the second vote? It could be that we'll actually pick a nominee by those people who are the second choice of these delegates, by the nominee who's the second choice of these delegates. And that's what the smart candidates are doing.
All right. And very quickly, Matt, I mean, do you see an establishment candidate and an anti-establishment candidate on a ticket? Is that a strong ticket in your mind?
We've sure done it in the past. Think of Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush. They carried nearly the whole country. It would be great to see something like that again.
All right. Matt Schlapp, good to talk to you, Matt.
Great to see you, Judge.
All right.